Welcome to the Vol Bros, presented by the Ooltewah Club. My name is Evan. This is my brother Ruston, and we are two Vol Bros who are actually bros in real life. Very appreciative of the Ooltewah Club. We're actually there this evening. They were having a Little Italy night, and we had all you can eat pasta. Like, you walked up, told them what kind of pasta you wanted, what kind of sauce, what kind of toppings, meat, vegetables, all kind of stuff, sauce. It was amazing. It was so good, and very much enjoyed that. Huge day in the news for Tennessee athletics. I apologize, we're going a little bit late. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties, so if one of us seems as though we're frozen, if you could let us know that in the comments, that'd be great. Not sure what's going on with our the back end of our show here, but hey, it's a live thing, so it's understandable. A lot of comments already coming in. I'm going to get to those here in just a second. Just so you know, we're going to talk about 4 things tonight. We were going to talk about 3, and then less than an hour ago, Christian Moore was called up to the Major League Baseball with the Los Angeles Angels. So that's a pretty sweet deal. So what we're going to do, we're going to start our show on a positive note with Christian Moore news. Then we're going to talk about Zakai Zeigler and Taylor Pannell. And then we'll end the show with Lance Simpson. If you don't know who that is, we'll talk about him here in a minute in the U.S. Open. Audrey, welcome, Audrey, that channel member right there, watch party fan. Appreciate you, Audrey. She said Grant Frere King. So that's something else that happened today, and that'll probably come up too. But so with that being said, Ruston, what do you think about Christian Moore being called up to the major leagues?
I wish it was anybody but the Angels. Unfortunately, he's going to a team that, I mean, there's a reason they're calling him up. I mean, it's an incredible day anytime you get called up to the majors, and congratulations to him for earning that opportunity. I just wish he was on any other team.
I understand that. When you stop and consider the last 36 months of Christian Moore's life, it is absolutely incredible, the meteoric rise that he has had. I mean, let's see. In 2023, I don't want to get my years mixed up here. Yeah. In 2023, or was it 2022? His redshirt freshman year, he played a little bit in left field, that kind of thing. 1 year later, he's Tennessee's starting second baseman. He's absolutely killing the ball. He gets drafted, immediately gets placed almost in Double-A with the Rocket City Trash Pandas. Then tears it up that season. This off season, it was kind of debated, like, is he going to start with the Angels or is he going to start in Triple-A? Season starts in April. He's with Double-A again. And 2 months later, not even 3 full months, 2 months later, he's already being called up. He went from Double-A to Triple-A, now being called up to the majors. Absolutely incredible. What he has done, absolutely incredible. Audrey said SEMO, absolutely. Billy, welcome, Billy, as a channel member. Appreciate you, buddy. He said, I've heard that Josh Dobbs is part of the coaching team. I don't know. That's interesting. Jonathan said, congrats, SEMO. I hadn't seen he was called up. I hope he does great there and goes to a team that actually competes. So he literally less than an hour ago is when this happened. Billy said, I've heard through Facebook that Josh Dobbs is part of the coaching team. Is that correct or just fake news? Are you talking about Tennessee football team? If so, that is not accurate.
He's been showing out in OTAs for the Patriots. The New England Patriots had an article on him either yesterday or the day before talking about how well he's done in OTAs, and that roster as the backup behind Drake May. So I don't know what that's about.
Rhonda, channel member, appreciate you, Rhonda. She said, "Good evening, bros. Good evening, chat fam." Nolan said, "Good afternoon, guys. Hope y'all having a great day. Time to get hyped for football season." Absolutely, Nolan, channel member, appreciate that. Hey, that's why I used the football intro today. Pretty good stuff. Audrey said, "I haven't heard anything about Dobbs working with the coaching staff." Yeah, I haven't either. Herb said, "Who's the next Vol to be called up?" That's a great question. I mean, I would have to say Drew Gilbert is probably the next one. Who would you say, Ruston?
Give me a second. Let me check one guy.
I mean, Drew's currently with the Mets AAA team, playing really well. So that would be my bet. Tim said, "Hey guys, hope everyone's doing great. Welcome, Tim. Glad you're with us." I'm gonna go back through the comments real quick and make sure I get everybody. Jonathan said, "Hello, Evan and Ruston chat family. Can't believe the judge denied Zakai 5th year." Yep, we're about to get to that. What in the world happened with Pannell? Yep, we're gonna get to that too. I bleed orange said, "Hey Vol fans or hey Vol bros, appreciate you, buddy, for being here." Mississippi Vol, welcome, buddy. He said, "Good Thursday evening, fellers. Hope it's been an awfully good week for you and the rest of our chat gang." Absolutely, I hope so too. I believe Orange said, "So can Gainey come back?" We're about to talk about that. Jonathan said, "I hope Taylor Panels is doing this to up her NIL fund." I'm confident that's what's going on. Matt, welcome, buddy. He said it's good to be a Tennessee Vol channel member. Appreciate you. He said, "Got to go get back on the mower, maybe later." Jonathan said, "Have a great week, Mississippi Vol. Hope you having a great week as well." Let's see. Sean, welcome, buddy. Channel member. Appreciate you. He said, "Good evening. Not the title I wanted to see, if I'm honest." Yeah, I totally agree. So what he's referencing is, I set up this live stream at about 6:00 this afternoon, and at that time, all we knew about was Zakai, Taylor, and Grant, and we didn't know about Lance then too. Within the last hour, we found out about Christian Moore, so that was exciting. So that might have changed the title if I knew that. Let's see. Mountaineer Black Eye, welcome, West Virginia fan. Good to have you with us. He said, "I'm a West Virginia fan, but I check in on these guys every once in a while. This isn't usually how it starts." I'm not sure what it because we started late. That might be what it is. Yeah, sorry, we were having a little bit of technical difficulties there, but appreciate you joining us. Hey, shout out West Virginia folks. I've been in West Virginia one time. I went up to see Ruston play college baseball in Bluefield, West Virginia, and it was one of the coldest I've ever been in my life in February up there. But good times. The tunnels that go through the mountains are absolutely incredible in West Virginia.
To this day, the best hecklers I've ever encountered anywhere.
Jonathan said, "Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and the notification bell, telling your mom and them about the Vol Bros podcast, best Vol podcast out there." Hey, I appreciate that very much. That means a lot to me. I appreciate it. I totally agree. Text a buddy about the Vol Bros. Elijah, welcome, buddy. Here's a channel member. He said, "Today has been weird." I agree wholeheartedly. It has been a very weird day in Tennessee athletics. Totally a roller coaster day. Let's see here. Some of the other comments coming through. Mississippi Vol said, "That was awesome news to see Marion Hobby coming back to coach our D line." That I totally agree. I don't know if you remember him, but he was a Terra Force from 86 to 89. Excellent player. I mean, that's a big get because you've got, he coached in a Super Bowl. So, you've got NFL and collegiate street cred with him. So, that's a huge hire. Let's see here. Billy said the article about Dobbs seems real. I don't know, man. Be wary of AI. That's all I gotta say.
He's in New England, and I would be very shocked if he doesn't make the Patriots roster.
Herb said Taylor Pannell's going to Texas Tech. Tim said Texas Tech softball spending some money.
Correct.
Herb said all money backing Texas, oil money backing Texas Tech. Tony, welcome, buddy. Good to have you. He said, loves Zakai, but it's time to move on. Well, it is now. I mean, it sure is. Ricky, welcome, Ricky. Good to have you. He said the one time I went to Bluefield for a basketball game, it was freezing and tons of snow.
To the mini dome, the smallest college dome I've ever seen in my life.
Well, that's cool. We got folks in West Virginia watching. That's awesome. So let's talk about Zakai. He's next up on our list. Miss Lee, you've all said Marion also coached on Clemson's 2016 national championship team as well. Ricky agreed with you on the size of the dome. So, one of the first piece of news that broke today amongst all the other stuff, but the first piece of news was shortly after, or maybe right before lunch, Zakai was denied another year of eligibility. So if that had been the only piece of news today, I was going to title this, or the thumbnail was going to say "Farewell, Sweet Prince." But then all this other crazy stuff started happening. So the thumbnail got changed. Ruston, what are your thoughts about Zakai being done now? What do you think that means for Jordan Gainey? What do you think?
I would just love to know what was going on behind the scenes with that. There's only one reason you file that paperwork, and that's if you really think you're going to win. I will say Jordan Gainey and Darlington Dubar are in a little different scenario than Zakai. That's a different graduating class. They had different dynamics they were dealing with coming out of high school, so it's actually not the same. So who knows what's going to happen with Jordan Gainey? He may actually get the extra year. But it was just weird to go through that whole process and get denied. I think they really believed they were going to win that thing.
Well, I totally agree with you because I mean that's a lot of money you're spending in legal fees. You're not going to spend that money unless you're sure you're going to win.
And technically, it's not over. If they want to, they can appeal that ruling. So technically, if they want to, they could keep it going. And it may be worth it. All it takes is one judge that's willing to hear the case and hold the NCAA accountable to all their inconsistencies, and he could get it.
But at what point is Tony correct and it's time to move on? I mean,
yeah, that's the hard. That's the hard part. Is it's not so much from Zakai's spot, but from Rick Barnes's spot. Like at some point, he needs an answer so he knows who to give that last spot to. So it may be a situation where they could continue to appeal, but Rick Barnes says, "Hey, I got to know something, so we're just gonna have to move on."
Absolutely. You can't keep dragging out. That's the bottom line. They gotta know something. Jonathan said, this may be my favorite comment of the night. He said, I was going to say this was the worst time of the year because no sports on and way too hot to do anything. But I thought the one good thing about this time of year is the Vols can't hurt me. Then today happened. Spoken like a true Vols fan. I love it. That's awesome. Spidey fan 27, welcome. Good to have you. They said, even though it's not over, they said she just denied the injunction. There's still plenty of fight on this. Yeah, there can be for sure. But at what point do you just have to cut it, cut your losses and move on and fill that roster spot? Because, I mean, the season is 3.5 months away. So, I mean, like they gotta know, like they can't keep dragging it out.
So I just saw an article that I missed earlier this afternoon that says Zakai's legal team is saying they're going to press forward, which means their next step would be to go to the federal appellate court and basically get the case heard. So it's going to be interesting to see how long that takes, but his lawyers are saying they're moving forward.
Tony said, we're losing Robert Ayers. That's why we got Hobby. I hadn't heard that about Robert Ayers. Maybe I just missed it.
I mean, the reality is they're all just defensive analysts. I mean, these guys can't go recruit. They work with players individually, during specific times every week. There's only so much they can do.
Oriole Puppy Dog said, hey guys, good to have you, Oriole Puppy Dog. I like Jonathan's comment here because he's right. He said, I don't understand why Zakai was denied, but Pavia got his extra year.
Because Zakai played his 4 years in a Division I institution. One of the years that Pavia was awarded was a JUCO year at a prep school, and they basically made the case that wasn't legitimate and shouldn't have counted.
One of my favorite tweets I saw today, somebody tweeted out NCAA decision flowchart. It was NCAA extra year of eligibility decision flowchart. Do they play at Tennessee? Answer: no, they cannot have an extra year. Do they play anywhere else? Yes, they can have an extra year. That cracked me up. I Bleed Orange said Stetson Bennett was 25 and still playing. Yep. Well, what about Cam Rising? Is that dude still on a college roster?
Yep.
He's like 37. Mino Like, here's a channel member. She said, evening Volbros in chat. Appreciate you. She said, my money is on Z. Hey, I like that goat emoji or logo there on your profile photo. I know a place you can get a really good shirt or hat based on looking like that. Volbros shop or volbros.com/shop. Volcano. That's a cool name. He said teams like Missouri and Ole Miss and Tennessee next year, 2026, will have the hardest SEC schedules, while Oklahoma, Florida have the easiest. Well, that's an interesting take because a lot of people feel like Tennessee's schedule is easy, and I don't get why they think that. Because we have to play Alabama, Georgia, and Florida, and Oklahoma. So I would agree with you. Tennessee has one of the harder schedules. I don't get why people say it's an easier schedule. Let's see. Oh, Rhonda using that Go Vols Baby channel emoji. I like that. Oh, speaking of that, I added a new one tonight. So I will get to that here in a minute. I Bleed Orange said, what game is the most memorable game you guys have attended for Tennessee football in person? Ooh.
I was there in '98 when Clint Sterner dropped the ball.
Yeah, I mean that's probably a pretty good one. Man, that's tough. Well, I mean, 2 immediately, 3, now 4. Okay, so here's the deal: different ones are special for different reasons. Like I can think of 5 games right now that would be special for a different reason. Like I remember going to my first ever game as a kid. It was against Kentucky. My dad took us. We sat behind the south end zone. I just remember sitting behind one of the end zones. I think it was the south one. So, I mean, that's cool because it's my first ever game there. I remember the first game my wife and I went to together. That was cool. It was against South Alabama in the Butch Jones era. 2 years ago, Ruston and I went with my son to the South Carolina dark mode game. That was cool. Getting to be there with Ruston and my son, that was cool. 2 years ago, the first time we had both me, my wife, my son, and my daughter. It was my daughter's first game ever in Neyland against, I guess it was UTSA, Texas San Antonio. The game that Joe Milton had that 80-something yard touchdown run, like in the first quarter down the left sideline. So that was cool. That was that was my daughter's first game. And she was like so pumped about the orange shaker. Like she loved it. So like that's all she cared about. She's like, can I get an orange shaker? We're like, yeah, you can get an orange shaker. So, I mean, that's a tough one because there's a lot. Like Rustin and I were both we're sitting on opposite sides of the stadium, but we were both at the 2015 checker Neyland Oklahoma game. That was double overtime. That was an incredible game. Rustin and I were both at the very first checker Neyland game against Florida, all the way back in 2014. So, I mean, like there's a lot of memorable things, you know. Each one has its own thing that makes it special. Let's see. Hey, Elijah, that's what I'm talking about. Elijah's using those channel emojis. He's using the new one, the Volbros. So I put our Volbros logo as a channel emoji. That's what I'm talking about. I love getting on YouTube and looking at all of them. I wish StreamYard let me see him on here. Carl, hey, welcome, Carl. Good to have you, buddy. Here's a channel member. He said, late to show, not sure what's happened, but did you talk about Zakai? We did. Quick summation. Can they continue appealing in the legal process? Yes. At what point, though, do you say the season is 3.5 months away? We got to move on. You know, like that's the balance that Tennessee has in their mind right now. Let's see. Jonathan said, it seems to me if they say Zakai can't play because he played 4 years at a Division I school, doesn't make too much sense. 4 years should be 4 years, no matter what, if they want to go that route. Audrey said the judge basically gave step-by-step instructions for what Zakai needs to do to refile.
What they really need to do, and this is half joking, half serious, they are being way too logical and way too legal. They need to say he has mental health issues. And if the NCAA continues to keep him from playing, I'm dead serious. If the NCAA continues to keep him from playing, they're going to cause long-term mental health issues, and he will be suing for social emotional damage. NCAA won't touch that with a 10-foot pole. They'll name him eligible tomorrow.
Working the system.
It's what half of them do. They list all kinds of garbage. You know, they make up stories about their family, all kinds of crap, and pretend it's true. And the NCAA refuses to look into it because they don't want to look like a bad guy. So they just name him eligible. You know, that's his attorneys. I mean, just to be candid, his attorneys have been too honest. Like they need to lie a little bit and, you know, make up some mental health damage. And all of a sudden he's going to be eligible.
Welcome to the Vol Bros.
I'm just telling you how the system goes. I mean, they flat said the reason he wants to come back is he can make more money in NIL. Well,
yeah, which was they should never have said that.
No judge in the NCAA doesn't want to hear that. I mean, they just bluntly said, hey, he's only coming back because he needs to make this money. Yeah. They're not going to give him an eligibility year for that. They don't care about that.
Which, you know, if people want to go back and watch our show the next day after that it came out, I straight up said that day, like that should never have been a reason that they gave.
No, it was stupid.
Now, I'm not going to advocate that they make up stuff, but
I'm telling you, if you knew half the stories I've heard that people have made up to get years of eligibility, I mean, stuff like mom has cancer, not really. I mean, all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah. But they never, ever should have said, he can make more money if he does. Well, the NCAA, I mean, their answer is, well, I don't care.
They didn't just say he could make more money. They stated a number. They said if he didn't play at Tennessee next year, it would cost him $2 million. Why in the world does the NCAA care about that? Why does a federal judge care about that? It's stupid to say that out loud.
Totally agree. Obline Orange said his favorite game in Neyland was 2016 Florida game in Knoxville. Breaking the streak was with my cousin in my first ever game. Oh, that's cool. That's a good first game to be at right there. That's a good first game. Elijah said, I've only been to a couple games. The most recent was the Bama game last year when Brooks got that pick. It was so insanely loud. That would be that's a good one too. That is a good one. Absolutely. Let's see. Volcano said, what do you think they will do with the 2026 SEC schedules? They haven't announced it yet. I'm going to star that and come back to it. We'll come back to that at the end of the show. Herb said his first game was 1995 versus Southern Miss. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Let's see. Carl said, haven't seen a game in Neyland since 82. Let's see. Elijah said, are you reading comments ahead of me? Is that why you're laughing?
Yeah.
Let's see. Elijah said, also went to I'm at 9:27 p.m. on the comments right now, so I'm 5 minutes behind. He said, also went to the Georgia game 2 years ago when Wright took the dude, that was literally the loudest moment in football history. That's the moment that broke the record, the decibel record for any football stadium at any time ever. You were there. That is awesome. You were there for the loudest moment in football history. That's what I'm talking about. Brennan, welcome, buddy. Good to have you. He said, how about the Frederick commitment? Baseball active in the portal. What did you think about that commitment, Ruston?
I love it for several reasons. If he and Bo Rudy are going to be the keys out of the bullpen next year, that's great. If they lose a couple of expected starters to the draft, I think Frederick is a guy who could easily move into a starter role. So I like it for a lot of reasons.
And just so in case somebody's watching or listening to the audio and tomorrow and they're not sure what we're referring to, Brennan is referencing Tennessee got a transfer commitment, a pitcher, SoCon Southern Conference Pitcher of the Year from ETSU. Obviously, it was funny when that happened because if you go back and watch our show after Tennessee played ETSU this year, one thing I said on that show was every person that steps on the field in Lindsey Nelson Stadium that's playing for a mid-major, they all know they're auditioning. Like, they know that. And, this was just an example of they know they're auditioning. Let's see. Rhonda said, these courts in NCAA coming to any decision at all is a snail's pace. By the time they do, a whole bunch of other problems are needed to be resolved. Yeah, you're exactly right. And, that's why it's so dangerous if they keep trying to appeal this and keep it going. I mean, no joke. Like, the first game is mid-November. We're mid-June right now. So, I mean, they're going to start like scrimmaging and practicing. I mean, they're already doing that now, but I mean, late October, they're just a few months away from the season starting. Like they can't keep dragging this out. Can't keep dragging. Or actually, it's early November now is when the first game is. Let's see. Volcano said, can you see Tennessee missing a bowl game? I don't think they'll miss a bowl game. It all depends on how the quarterback situation plays out, but I don't think they'll miss a bowl game. I think the worst they'll do is 8-4. I think they're going to go 9-3. And apparently the Kelly Ford rankings would agree with us. Ruston thinks the same thing. They'll go 9-3. Sean said, I know where to go for legal advice now. Is that what you were laughing at?
Nope.
Oh, there's another one coming? Okay,
yep.
Awesome. Good. I'm looking forward to that. Herb said 2004 to my brother, uncle, and my dad took in 2004 in a UNLV game. That's cool. That's cool. That's good memories, man. That's the thing. Like, you remember being there with your family and friends. Like, that's what makes it so special. Very, very cool. Rhonda said, Russ, they keep on the fans. We'll sue for it. Yeah, there you go. Rhonda said, if they keep on, the fans will sue for damages to our mental health. Yeah, amen. I'm with you that.
Yep.
Carl.
That's the one.
That's the one that made you laugh? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Carl said, can't Zakai just identify as eligible? His pronouns are I'm eligible.
Put it in your email signature and roll.
Oh, man, that was good. That's a good one. Carl liked that one too. He liked that one too. Oh, man, that's a good one. Hey, Mino Aki's using that new emoji. That's what I'm talking about. Oh man. Um, Ricky said, when you talk about the 2026 schedule, I'm coming on to talk about my pod system. So I'm cool with that. Absolutely, Ricky. You need to join us. Ricky on the whiteboard in his office came up with an entire system for the SEC to make scheduling football games for the future. And I mean, it's a pretty good system. So that is totally cool. Ricky's an honorary bro. He can come back on
Good,
and show the
good to
world
see
his.
he's working hard.
Yeah. He can come on and show the world his system because it's good. I mean, it's solid. I'll give him that for sure. Rhonda said my first game was in '78. I was a young pup, Johnny Majors. Go Vols baby and the TriStar logo. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see. I believe Orange said Zeigler was injured during 2023. Does that affect anything? Unfortunately, not, because he played too many games before he got injured, so he was unable to redshirt. Mississippi Vols said Coach Vitello was on Tony Basilio's show yesterday. You may have heard it, but he talked like they were going to be very active in the portal this year.
Talked. They already are. they got dudes visiting every day this week. They've already gotten Bo Rudy. They've already gotten the sidearm pitcher from UNC Asheville. The Ford kid was there last week. They've got a middle infielder from Cal coming this weekend. They've got an outfielder from Seton Hall. They already had a pitcher from Rutgers. It's been a revolving door. If you're in the portal and you're any good, you're showing up at Tennessee at some point in the next 2 weeks.
How weird is it that I think it was Ben McKee said Tennessee is getting a visit from middle infielder from the ACC, and it was California.
Mm-hmm.
That is just bizarre, man. That's bizarre.
It's that sentence never gets old. It's just like them the other night saying the Big Ten will be represented at the College World Series by UCLA. What?
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Audrey said the NCAA's already put their 2 cents in. Zakai will get his answer in court. Elijah said Taylor Pannell is officially committed to Texas Tech. Screams tampering. I would agree with that totally.
It's not even tampering. They're not mincing words. They've already made it known. They have a sugar daddy who's given them a blank check to go get 5 players, and she's one of the 5. Like, Texas Tech has been very vocal about this.
So here's her announcement on Twitter. This was at 9:20 p.m. this evening.
I mean, think about this. Texas Tech is probably the only school in America whose starting pitcher got 2 7-figure NIL deals within a week. So Nigel Kennedy is going to get paid $2 million to pitch next year. And then some dude showed up, some oil dude showed up and said, hey, I'm going to give you enough money to go find 5 that'll make sure we win a national championship. So, I mean, they're not being shy about it. You're going to see 4 others here pretty soon just randomly leave their teams and go to Texas Tech.
Well, and to Elijah's point about how it screams tampering. So Taylor entered the transfer portal with a do not contact tag.
Well, let's not talk about tampering, because we got Boise State's 2 best players in a span of 48 hours before our season ended.
That's true.
Let's just be honest. Everybody tampers, including the weeklies, and it gives and it takes away.
Yep. So she enters with do not contact, which means she already knew where she was going. And it just so happened that the Lady Vols and Texas Tech were in the same city last week. So I'm sure nothing was happening behind the scenes there at all.
But again, you got to remember, like, all the Power 5 schools, Power 4 now, they all have handlers. Like, all these girls in college softball, they all have people they're associated with outside the game, whether it was a travel ball organization or a hitting coach, which is really just the travel softball version of advisors in baseball. They've all got people. And it's real easy in the softball world to let somebody know, hey, we want you next year, and here's the dollar amount we're willing to spend on that. You know, it's and to my earlier point, softball also tends to know how to work the system. And I'll give you a great example. I know a girl who is now on her fourth Power Four school in 3 years,
Good grief.
and has been named immediately eligible at all three because of her mental health.
Yep. Buzzwords. Tim said his first game was 1974 Liberty Bowl in Memphis. Vols won 7-3. Conridge Holloway came back in the fourth quarter to lead him to the win. That's cool. That's very cool. We're glad you're with us, Tim. Rebel Jew, welcome, buddy. Glad you're with us too. He said, good evening, everybody. Go Vols. Absolutely. Brendan said his wife's first Tennessee game was South Carolina in 2014. Whoa, man, that's a good one. That's the Michael Pilardi field goal and as time expired game. He said it was nuts. Nosebleeds and the entire stadium was rocking. People left in the third and was trying to get back in. Incredible game. That's also that game that Marquez North had that catch on the left side of the end zone, or right now down the left sideline. Yeah, that's a good one there. That's a real good one. He said it was our first game there together. That's what I'm talking about. Dester said you should be a lawyer. Welcome, Dester. Good to have you. Here's a channel member. We appreciate you, buddy. Let's see. Robert, welcome, buddy. Good to have you.
If you can't tell, in my line of work, I deal with lawyers all the time. I know how this stuff works.
Robert said, what game will we continue playing from the past 2 years? Vanderbilt? I'm not sure what you're referring to. Do you know, Ruston?
Mm-mm.
Can you elaborate on that, Robert? Let's see. I believe Orange said Jordan Beck has had a hit in the last 7 out of 8 games. Very cool. Colorado Rockies are becoming University of Tennessee West. They've got Seth Halverson, Jordan Beck, and Chase Dolander all on the same team. It's pretty cool. They've
definitely got somebody in that front office who thinks very highly of Tony Vitello.
Yeah, for sure. Jonathan said the traditional ACC powerhouse, California.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Mina Leggy said, how long do they keep us waiting with Brew as far as eligibility goes? Brew didn't appeal.
Brew retired. Brew's done.
Unfortunately, he retired. Let's see. Volcano said, what are your top 50? That's a lot of jobs. Top 15 jobs in college football. We could probably do like top 3, maybe. We'll save that for the end if we get there. Ricky said Ruston is just a few years away from being a softball handler. Advisor.
Yeah. I've got a few years to get those contracts in place.
Herb made a good point. Herb said
one of my closest friends is one of those softball handlers right now, and he may or may not be working for UT, Alabama, and Ole Miss at the same time. It can be very lucrative.
No conflict of interest there at all. Herb said, sort of like ETSU pitcher entered the portal with a no contact tag. Let's see. You're exactly right, Herb. Dester said, my first game, Johnny Major's first game coaching. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. Let's see here. Jonathan said, I'm less confident in the softball team being better next year now. We would have been in major trouble this year without Pannell. Oh, for sure.
I don't know about that. So they've got most of their best hitters returning. They've added 2 huge bats in the portal. The 2 girls from Boise State can both flat swing it. Both were conference freshmen of the year in subsequent years. They are both very good hitters. And they've got a recruiting class coming in that's got the #1 high school catcher in America, And she is the current, I believe, I don't know if it's full career or single season. She's either the single season high school home run leader, or she might be the overall high school women's softball home run leader. It's one or the other. I can't remember which. But they've got some studs coming in. They've got good players coming back, and they've also been very active in the portal. And I would expect with Pannell even, they're going to be even more active because the money she was getting in NIL just got freed up for somebody else. So I actually think they'll be better next year. It hurts a little bit to lose her, but they've got a ton of weapons coming in.
Tim said he was at the 1982 Tennessee Bama game, loudest game he's ever attended in person. That's awesome. That's really cool. Tony said Tony Vitello on Basilio yesterday was a great interview. You'll need to go back and check it out. He knew this team didn't punch back when they needed to. That's what I love about Tony. He's honest. No coach speak. So Robert clarified for me. He said if we don't go to 9 games, we only have 7 conference teams to play that we haven't played the past 2 seasons. So based on that, who do we play? What game will we continue playing from the past 2 years?
Probably Vanderbilt.
Yeah, that's what I think too. Let's see. Same state, that'll be the one. Rebel Juice said, happy early Father's Day, Vol Bros and other fathers out there. Appreciate that very much. He said, will y'all be on Sunday? We actually won't be on Sunday. We are going to take Father's Day off. Actually, Ruston and his family will be over at our house. We'll be celebrating our dad. And so we will not be live Sunday night. But I appreciate you asking that. Thank you. Carl said, hearing Pilardi was 11 years ago hurts my soul. Seems like 6 to me. Yeah, amen, brother. Time flies. It absolutely flies. Tim said Pannell was good, but she had her moments when she didn't hit. Still a big loss, but I think she can be replaced. I believe Arn said, never watched softball for this year, but I enjoyed it. Yeah, for sure. Listen, when you got Carlin Pickens throwing the equivalent of 111 mile per hour fastballs in baseball up there, that's impressive. That is impressive. John said, I saw an article today that said the SEC was more of a power football conference.
ACC.
Huh?
ACC.
Oh, I thought that's what I said. My bad. Said the ACC was more of a power football conference than the SEC, and someone in the comments said Georgia would be 2-10. What? In the ACC, some people say pretty dumb things. Yep, that is accurate.
Say no to drugs.
Yeah, for sure. Tim said this isn't sports related, but how was Epic Universe? I appreciate you asking. It was really good. So for those who aren't sure what Tim's talking about, Universal Orlando just opened up a 3rd park. Well, it's technically the 4th if you count the 3rd being the water park, but it's called Epic Universe. It appropriately named. Epic is a really good way of putting it. Really, it's 5 lands in one park. You've got Celestial Park, which is in the middle. Beautiful, beautiful place. Really good roller coaster called Stardust Racers. Then you've got 4 lands that branch off of it. You've got Isle of Berk, which is the How to Train Your Dragon area. Incredible roller coaster in that area. You get to meet Toothless the Dragon. It's maybe the coolest animatronic I've ever seen in my life. Let's see what else. You got Super Nintendo World. It's visually stunning. I mean, it is amazing. Love the Mario Kart ride in that. Dark Universe is really impressive, but I'll be honest with you, the Wizarding World area, when you walk into that area, you legitimately do not feel like you're in a theme park anymore. It is so well themed. It is so immersive. It's absolutely incredible. So fantastic place. Some people said Stardust Racers was more intense than Velocicoaster. It is not. Velocicoaster, Hollywood Red Rocket, and the Hulk are all more intense than Stardust Racers. But it's a great roller coaster, super smooth. Loved it. So I strongly recommend anybody going there. If you want to go there, I know a lady who can help you plan it for free. Her name is Ginger Pierce. So I would strongly recommend checking out gingermmt.com. That's my wife. Her website, gingermmt.com. You can get a free quote up in the top left corner of that site. So I would strongly recommend that. And thank you for the question, Tim. I appreciate that. When you said just say no to drugs, Brennan said DARE. Those were the good old days of DARE programs. Let's see. Carl said, tell Karen Weekly, I know a girl just became available. Zakai Zeigler. Great athlete, deep voice, don't judge. Carl's on fire tonight. He is on fire tonight. Tim said, awesome. Glad you had a great time. We're going this fall. Oh, that's awesome, dude. I hope you have a blast. It's so much fun. It really is. Let's see. Audrey said she bought their tickets to Disney, Universal, Islands, and Epic. That's what I'm talking about. Disney fired some of their employees. Universal hired them for Epic. It's really awesome. It really is. You'll love it. Make sure you stay for the show at the end of the night. So, for example, the park closed when we were there. Epic closed at 10 p.m. At 9:50, there is a show around the fountains in the center of the park. You do not want to miss that, I promise. It was absolutely incredible. You don't want to miss it. Volcano said, I heard ESPN has a new scoreboard for college football. Yeah, they typically update it every year, so that doesn't surprise me. Jonathan said, I don't know if y'all seen it or not, but Arkansas fan had a video on Facebook after the Super Regional singing a parody of Rocky Top, and I still don't know how I feel about it. I hadn't seen that. I don't really want to see it, honestly, but I hadn't seen it. It'll probably just make me mad. But I hadn't seen that one. Let's see. Miyagi said, never been to Disney World, but would love to have stayed at the Star Wars Galaxy Hotel. Yeah, so that was... Yeah, Ginger got to stay at Star Cruiser when it was open. She went on a training or an event. She was selected from her agency to get to go down there. She said it was awesome. Unfortunately, it was short-lived, which is really sad. But such a cool thing, cool idea. You can see her experience there at youtube.com/gingermmt. Let's see here. Bobby said, welcome, Bobby. Good to have you. He said, honestly, do you think Zakai and Gainey will get the 5th year or not at this point?
Just depends on what they say. I think if they keep going the path of, hey, he needs to make more money, they're going to keep getting denied. If they decide to not be so forthcoming, they may have a chance.
Yeah. At some point, you got to just move on. That's the thing. Like they have a team that they have to get ready for this season. I mean, like, it's June. Like, a lot of teams are traveling overseas and playing overseas as a group right now.
Well, they're doing workouts. They're doing all kinds of team stuff right now.
Right.
They're just doing it minus one spot.
I mean, like, they got to know who their team is, for sure. Brennan said, I appreciate that, Brennan. He said, I concur as a customer. Ginger is the best. Great recommendations and pro tips. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. Carl, hey, appreciate that $10, buddy. You the man. Thank you so much. He said, wish we a checkers team I could pull for now. I'm not sure what you mean, checkers team. Do you know, Ruston? Oh, he's saying he wishes Tennessee had a checkers team because he's missing sports. That's what he's saying. Because it's June. I agree, man. Absolutely. Absolutely. I appreciate that $10 too. You the man. Thank you. Like he said, did she do a video? Yes. youtube.com/gingermmt. You can find that video there. Absolutely. Let's see. Let's see here. Audrey said Tennessee fans would cheer for a Vol Checkers team. Absolutely. Absolutely, we would. Everything School. Hashtag it. That's a t-shirt with a checkerboard behind the Everything School. And it would have double meaning with the checkerboard for Tennessee. That's what we need. Absolutely. I got to make that shirt now. Let's see. Minolaki, you're good. You're totally good. Bobby said, if they don't get a fifth year, who do you think Barnes will go after? Well, they had another
They've had
kid.
they've had a list of people visiting recently. They've got a long list of people they can go to if they decide to use that spot somewhere else.
Rebel Juice said, never been to Disney, but went to Hershey Park and the factory. No Oompa Loompas, but there was a kid named Charlie. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So we've talked about Christian Moore being called up to the Angels. We've talked about Zakai Zeigler. We've talked about Taylor Pannell. Let's talk about something else that maybe I hate the fact that this got overshadowed so much today, because talk about an accomplishment that deserves to be talked about. Oh, wait, Jonathan said, yes, we would, Audrey, and I don't even like checkers unless it's checkerboard end zone or sideline. Sam, welcome, buddy. Good to have you. Said, do you think the revenue split from the current ruling will have any effect on Tony's outlook on coaching at Tennessee? Okay, I'm going to answer, and I think Ruston, this will answer for him too. Ruston does not think that ruling is ever actually going to make it to August because of so many lawsuits that are going to come out against it. And I would agree with him. And that was verified 2 days ago when a group already filed a lawsuit against the NCAA for Title IX violations with the new House settlement. So I personally would agree. I don't think that's ever even going to be an issue. I think it's going to get overruled and it's not going to go into place permanently. So I don't think that is going to end up being a problem, because I don't think that settlement is going to make it past July. What do you think? Would you agree with that?
This is the perfect opportunity to start the NCAA a stupid T-shirt. The fact that the NCAA publicly announced this concept without vetting it legally for anything is the epitome of incompetence. And it literally took 48 hours for lawsuits to come out. And they didn't even sue over the 20.5 million, how it would be divided. They sued over the revenue share of 85% of the revenue comes in through football and men's basketball. So we're going to use 85% on them and everybody else gets 15%, which the fact that they said that out loud, knowing Title IX, is just the epitome of incompetence. I think they're almost trying to sabotage it at this point. Like, they can't really be this dumb. I think they're doing this on purpose so that when all the lawsuits come in, they can go, look, we tried. Nobody liked anything we did. We tried this, you hated it. We tried this, you hated it. You threatened to sue us for everything we've said. So we've done everything we can. So we're just going to have to go back to the old way.
Yeah.
I honestly, I think this may be intentional, and it's their way of getting out of this.
Audrey said it is a perpetual antitrust lawsuit.
Yep.
Carl said, checker trash talk and just another thing Vol fans dominate. Absolutely, man. King me. Let's see. Herb said, Henry Ford from Virginia, out of the question or getting drafted? I just don't think he's coming.
I think he's very much in the conversation. It just depends on so again, advisors. He has advisors right now talking to pro teams, trying to find out what his market value is. And so, depending on what comes back from that, Tennessee may be a good option for him. Come get some NIL money, improve his market value for a year, and go make more money next year. So I think a lot of it's going to come down to what he hears from those people.
Jonathan said, how did the track and field team do today? I hadn't seen anything yet from them. That's a great question. They're actually doing stuff right now. It's all out in Eugene, Oregon, so it's all on Pacific time. And at like 8:00 p.m. is when a lot of the different stuff started, and it's going to be going for the next several hours. So they started. They're probably in the middle of races and stuff right now. That's a great question. So we'll keep our eyes on Twitter, and we'll probably be seeing stuff here pretty soon. Jonathan said the NCAA won't be around in 10 years, more than likely. That's pretty possible, actually.
10 might be gracious.
Volcano said, do you guys think Josh Heupel has been great in the portal? Audrey said, in her opinion, no. Do I think he's been great in the portal? I would say no. Do I think he's been good in the portal? Yes. Because Jermod McCoy, who will be a first-round draft pick after this year, came to us through the portal. Our starting left tackle this year, Lance Hurd, will be from the portal, or was from the portal.
There may be as many as 3 offensive linemen this year from the portal starting. Sorry, I got the hiccups. At least 3 offensive linemen from the portal this year may be starting.
I mean, do I think he's been great? No. Do I think he's been good? Yes. I Bleed Orange said, open up the checkbook for baseball. Spin big. I want to see another super team. Let's see here. So back to what our fourth topic for the evening. There is a little golf tournament happening right now up in Pennsylvania. It's called the U.S. Open. And we have an absolutely incredible performance from Vol Nation in that tournament today. So excited for Lance Simpson. I'm going to share the screen here. So Lance Simpson from Tennessee Golf. Bleed Orange said, what is golf? Lance Simpson qualified for, not only did he qualify for the US Open, but he went out and shot a 4 over today at what is arguably the hardest golf course in the world. You actually, if you heard Scotty Scheffler, the world's #1 overall player, in an interview yesterday, he said this is the hardest golf course he has ever played. Scotty Scheffler shot a +3 today. Lance Simpson shot a +4. He was only 1 shot behind the best player in the world. On this list right here, you can see people who he shot equal to or better than. And I'll zoom in so everybody can see it a little bit better. This is an incredible list. Joaquin Neiman, Dustin Johnson, Akshay Bhatia, Patrick Cantlay, Justin Thomas, Jason Day, Justin Rose, Tony Finau, Shane Lowry. I mean, these are some incredible names. You know, major championship winners, Ryder Cup players, and Lance Simpson, who's a golfer at University of Tennessee, went out and did better than these guys today. It's absolutely incredible what he did. Incredible what he did. And so shout out to Lance. I've actually already reached out to him on Instagram. I'm hoping very much to get him on the show whenever he gets back from the US Open. I told him, like, hey man, when you get back, I reached out to him, I think a week and a half ago. I said, when you get back, we would love to have you on the show. So if you get a chance, message him too. Say, hey, you should go on that Volbro show. That'd be great. We'd love to hear about your time at the US Open, because I want to hear all about it. And it's been it was fascinating to watch the US Open today, because you have all these people saying this is the hardest golf course we've ever played on our lives. And when you look at the course, there's no water. There are no trees. And yet it's the hardest course in the world, because the rough is the most crazy thick rough in maybe the history of golf. It is the greens are so undulated and they're so incredibly fast. You know, some people say the greens at Augusta National for the Masters are like putting on your bathtub because they're so fast. That's a stent meter of 13 there. These are a 16 on the stent meter. So it's like putting on your greased bathtub is what it's like. Unbelievable. And then just the sheer amount of bunkers. One of the craziest things today was Jordan Spieth was in the rough, and he knew he couldn't make it to the green from where he was. Apparently he doubted his ability to even make it back to the fairway. So he intentionally hit the ball into a bunker so he could have a better shot than what he had out of the rough. Like, it's crazy what's going on up there. So kudos to Lance Simpson. So proud of him, man. That is absolutely incredible what he did today. Tremendous performance. I'll be honest with you. If he shoots another, like I'll be really curious to see at the end of tomorrow what the cut line is. I'm going to go out on a limb right now and say the cut line is going to be either 6 or 7 over. That's what I'm going to predict. One of the two. I will be thrilled if Lance makes the cut. That would be absolutely incredible. Let's see here. Some of the other comments that came in. Eric, hey, buddy, what's going on, man? Good to have you. He said, what's up, Vol Bros and everybody? Let's see. Sam made a good point. He said Kitzelman got an extra 5th year like Pavia, probably because of JUCO maybe in there. Was he at JUCO before Alabama? I think he was. Yeah, so there would be the similarities with Pavia there.
Yep.
Herb's using those channel emojis. I like it. That's what I'm talking about. Or Eric was using the emojis. Herb said GBO, absolutely. Tim said, speaking of golf, Happy Gilmore is back. Yep, July. Happy Gilmore 2 on Netflix. That's right. Sam said, I was in South Bend when we beat Notre Dame. I ran on the field and gave Chris Mims a high five. That's pretty good. John said, it's so cool to turn on literally any sport and see former Vols playing at high levels. Not many schools can say that. That's a fantastic point. That is a fantastic point. Bobby said, you guys should get a previous men's basketball player to come on the show and talk basketball before the season. I would love that. I think that's a great idea. We've already had 3 former, actually 1 current and 2 former basketball players. So we had Rob Murphy on our show one time. We had Jerron Mayman on our show one time. And we had Felix Akpara on our show last summer. But literally the day before he went to Knoxville. He and his family joined us the night before he left to go up there. John said, I love watching professional golfers play a course like that and struggle. It shows how hard golf actually is. Absolutely. I mean, Bryson DeChambeau had 3 shots out of the same rough on one hole today. Just crazy how hard it's been up there. Unbelievable course. Hardest course in the world, no water, no trees. That's incredible. Just the layout of it, you have to be precise in where you land the tee shot. It's crazy, man. Perfect course for US Open. So let's go back a couple of the comments that came through. Volcano said, what do you think they will do with the 2026 SEC schedules?
I don't think anybody knows that yet. I think there's a lot of variables that could change that.
Money being the most common or most important variable, sadly. I know what I would like for them to do. And a lot of people may not agree with me. I know some people would. I know Reed Carringer would agree with me. One thing I would like for them to do is to keep 8 conference games. All that matters is that you go to the playoffs. That's it. Like, just make it to the playoffs. Well, here's how you do that. You win a whole bunch of games and you lose very few. That's how you make it there. It literally does not matter who you beat. As long as you have 11 wins, you're always going to be in the playoff. If you have 10 wins, you got a really good chance of being in the playoff. So it literally doesn't matter who you play. If you don't lose and you just win all your games, you're in the playoff. I mean, it's literally that simple. You could play East Lafayette School for, the Blind or something, and as long as you beat them, you're in the playoff. I mean, like that. Shout out to East Lafayette if that's a real place.
I'd say they're good.
Yeah. I mean, like, it doesn't matter who you play. All that matters is that you win. That's it. So because of that, why make the schedule harder? Like, Tennessee already has to play Georgia, Florida, and Alabama every year. Why would we want to make that harder and add another conference game? So give me the easiest schedule humanly possible. Let's go win a championship in the playoffs. And that's what I would do. Let's see. John said, have you heard anything from Matt Sims about when he's going to be on? Nope, hadn't heard a word. Kind of frustrated about it, if I'm being honest. Really would like to know, actually. That's a great question. Eric said, y'all need to get Ron Slay on the show. That's a great suggestion. I would love to have Ron Slay on the show. Ron said, get Admiral Schofield on here. I would love that. That'd be a good one, too. I Bleed Orange said, what are your expectations for JP Estrella? What are your expectations, Russ?
I love what they've done with this roster. I think you're going to see them platoon in the post, similar to what Rick Barnes used to do at Texas, where it'll probably be Felix Okpara and the Carey kid starting, and then Cade and JP coming off the bench as a group, which does a lot of things, especially in practice. If those two groups of two know, hey, this is my guy, this is who I play with, then in practice every day, it becomes a war. It's 2-on-2 between those guys. They're making each other better all the time. They learn how to play with each other. They're not going in there going, okay, JP might be with Felix now. They're going in there knowing, no, we're a pair. So I love what they're going to do with those guys. I think they're going to be a huge upgrade. I like JP personally. I think he's a really good player. He's gotten exceptionally stronger, which was his biggest weakness. So I'm expecting a big year from all four of them. I think they're going to make everybody better. And the one thing we haven't been able to do for the last couple of years is go win a game in the post and pound the ball inside and just say, hey, stop us. With those four guys, we can do that. We can go attack the paint and win games inside 3 feet.
Let's see here. Rhonda said we should get Chris Lofton. I would love to have Chris Lofton on the show. Absolutely. Tony said he agrees 100%. I hope we stay at 8 SEC games. That's most fair for everyone as well. Yeah. Eight games max. That's my thing. Tim said, I don't think they go to 9 games unless the SEC is guaranteed a certain amount of teams in the playoff. I'd say you're probably right about that. Let's see here. Jonathan said, it's not Vol related, but it was cool to see Murray State make the World Series. Yeah, I agree. When their stadium holds 800 people and their head coach mows the grass himself. Absolutely. Them and Coastal, everybody's, rooting favorites, because how could you not root against them? Root for them. Everybody's going to root for them. It's awesome. Cinderella story, baby. Cinderella story. Eric said, or Ramon Foster could be a good person to have on the. Yeah, I would love to have Ramon, especially leading into this season when he's on the call with Mike Keith. It'll be cool. I would love to have him on the show. Let's see. So, who knew when we woke up this morning how much news would happen for Tennessee athletics today? We had a guy get denied eligibility. We had arguably our best softball player transfer schools. We had one of our best golfer teared up at the U.S. Open. And a beloved former baseball player got called up to the majors. Oh, and a former football player is now being investigated by police in Georgia for potential theft. So we'll just throw that in there too. That also happened today. I Bleed Orange said, get Rick Barnes on here. Man, I would love to have Rick Barnes on here. Coach Barnes, if you're watching, You have a standing invitation. Anytime you want to join our show, you call us and we'll make it happen, buddy.
You know who could actually pull that off? Chris Dortch.
You know what? That's a good point. That's actually a really good point. I want to have Chris Dortch back on the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was a fun interview. That was a really fun interview. He's probably crazy busy right now making his Blue Ribbon book, but I would love to have him on the show. And I think we could get him with golf. If we were like, because I think he enjoyed being on the show too. But if we said, hey, you want to go golfing too, then he'd really be like, yeah, let's do that. Maybe that's another cart cam right there. Let's see. John said he saw where Jalen Hyatt has impressed at the Giants OTAs. He's gained 15 to 20 pounds. Oh, wow. That's awesome. I would love to see him get more playing time.
Either that or let him be traded somewhere because they just do not use him.
Yeah, for real. Brennan said Coastal's legit. Totally agree. They are for real. He said he's predicting them, Arizona or Arkansas to win it all. I mean, I think that's Arkansas and Coastal have to be the two betting favorites right now. They're both just really, really good.
I would take Coastal or Arkansas. I don't think Arizona has the pitching depth to win the whole thing.
You know, like you said, Coastal was amazing. Absolutely. Let's see here. Mississippi all said Ramon is the epitome of what hard work can do for you. Undrafted free agent, 2009 draft, goes on to become one of the best linemen in the league, retiring after 11 years. Yeah, great point. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Rhonda said she's still waiting on Tony Vitello. Hey, we would love it. We would love it. We were this close one time, that close. And flight schedules got in the way. So frustrating, but I would love it. Sam said his first game in Neyland was 1971 against Penn State. Bobby Majors and Phil on the field. That's what I'm talking about. He's a Tennessee won in a landslide. That's really cool. That's really cool. Well, we really appreciate everybody joining us tonight. Absolutely loved. Like you said, who was that? If you're talking about the player, that former player that's being investigated, that'd be Grant Frerking. So rough day for Grant. Rebel Juice said getting heavy storms here by Reelfoot Lake. Going to be good fishing tomorrow. Man, I hope you catch a ton. I hope you catch a whole bunch of fish. We appreciate everybody so much for joining us. We got 542 people watching across all three platforms right now. So that's really cool. Very exciting. Lance, if you're watching, buddy, I'm sure you are the night, before your second round of the U.S. Open. I'm sure this is what he's doing right now. Hey, Lance, we hope you tear it up tomorrow, buddy. We hope you tear it up. You have already made Vol Nation proud. We hope you just keep doing well tomorrow. Jonathan said, great show as always. Hope everyone has a great night. See everybody Monday night. We appreciate you, Jonathan. So we will actually be live again next Thursday. So we're going to take this Sunday off for Father's Day. So we will be live again, unless something crazy happens, like we wake up and there's 4 more breaking news stories about Tennessee athletics. But
if Tony signs half the transfer portal,
yeah. If that happens, then we'll probably go live Monday night. But as of right now, the plan is we'll be live next Thursday. But who knows? I mean, I didn't expect this Thursday to be such a big news day, but it turned out to be one heck of a news day. So we hope everybody has a great Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to everybody. Rhonda said, great job, bro. Hey, we appreciate you, Rhonda, so much. Thank you. Carl, we appreciate you. Hey, we appreciate you too, man. Very, very much. I believe Orange said, great show, Vol Bros. Appreciate you, man. Let's see. Tim said, have a great night, everybody. You too, Tim. Appreciate you. I believe Orange said, have a great Father's Day. Cherish your father. Lost mine when I was 5. Oh, I'm so sorry about that, man. So sorry about that. Carl said, good night, everybody. Like he said, I'm so far behind. Internet is weird tonight. I appreciate you sticking with us through the internet issues. John said, "You mean I have to wait a full week to see everybody again?" I know, man. It feels like forever when we don't have a show every 3 to 4 days, but I would love for us to wake up, and you know what I would love to happen? I would love Lance Simpson to come back and make like a top 5 finish or just win the whole thing. That would be awesome. If that happens, we'll go live real soon. Eric said, "Great show. Have a great night, everybody." Absolutely. Happy Father's Day to you as well, man. Brennan said 542 people tagged the GOAT pleading for him to join the show. I bet it'll happen. I 100% agree. He's on Instagram. Everybody go tag Tony Vitello. Absolutely.
Best time to get him is going to be October. That's his 1 month of the year when there's not really anything happening. So October is the timeline you want to target.
I believe Orange said he's on it. He's going to do it. I appreciate that. Let's see. Mina Lackey said, "Happy Father's Day, guys." She said, "Evan knows me so well. I appreciate you, Mina Lackey. You're the bomb. I appreciate you." Rhonda said, "Everybody have a great weekend." Absolutely. John said, "Happy Father's Day to all the fathers." Absolutely. Rhonda said, "That's our birthday month, so that'd be perfect." That's what I'm talking about. Rhonda, if you tag him and you say, "Will you go on the show for my birthday?" I bet he would do it, actually, in that situation. He probably would. Well, we appreciate everybody so much. We love this. We absolutely love it. We hope everybody has a great weekend ahead of you. Go Lance. We're cheering for you, buddy. I'm confident you're watching this the night before your second round at the Oakmont Country Club. So everybody have a great, great evening. I'm going to play the football outro because we're in that mindset now. So if I don't have a golf one for you, Lance, sorry, buddy. But go Vols, baby. And we will see everybody very soon.